Okay, since my last video about the Grace Life Church situation, there was a Sunday where hundreds of people came to the church from hundreds of miles around to protest what was going on there. And the police had roads blocked off, so they had to walk in a few miles, I understand anyways, to actually get to the location. And they were met by a couple of hundred police, including helicopter air support, I understand, to monitor these people. And the protest went on all day, and nothing really very much came of it. So anyway, now you have the police effectively heavily guarding an empty church building while the church people meet in some undisclosed location elsewhere. Now, here you have the statement from Alberta Health, and it's really curious to me how it is that they expect the church to demonstrate their compliance with the restrictions of the health department when you don't have a facility to demonstrate that compliance. It doesn't seem too smooth there, guys. Now, the Premier, Jason Kenney, he could put a stop to all of this anytime he wanted to, but it doesn't seem that he wants to. So we'll just have to see where it goes. And in the meantime, the church people, I presume, will continue to meet at an undisclosed location. And now I want to pivot over to this church, Fellowship Baptist Church. They're in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and they also now have a health inspector pursuing them. And this could all be stopped by Premier Scott Moe. But I've got a funny feeling that that's not going to happen. And I also think that neither Scott Moe nor Jason Kenney are going to get reelected. But we'll see.
The limits on worship didn't change until I believe it was November, October, whatever it was. And by that point, we as a church had already determined that we would not close our doors again. So when the order came down that we had to cut back to no more than 30 people plus staff and volunteers, we quietly just went about our business, holding church services as normal. We didn't want to make any waves. We weren't trying to overthrow the governing authority, nothing like that. We just feel like the worship of Jesus Christ is important enough that it must carry on. In January, we continued on, and as a result of being opened in a community where all of the other churches were closed. Now, I say all, I don't know that as a matter of fact. I don't know of any others who were opened, but there could be. As a result of our being opened and not refusing people who came, because here's the thing, Jesus said, come to me all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. He didn't say, come to me the first 30. He didn't say, come to me the first 30%. He said, come all. And we as the Church of Christ, we have been called to be ambassadors of Christ. And how can I be an ambassador of Christ and stop person 31 that shows up at the door and say, I'm sorry, you're too late. I can't share Christ with you today. I can't share fellowship with you today. No, we just won't do that. Comes with Saskatchewan Health Authority at the beginning of February. We had our first visit. Our elders met the public health inspector at the door and informed him that it's actually a violation of the federal criminal code to disrupt our worship service. And not only to disrupt our service, it's actually a violation of the criminal code to even threaten to disrupt our worship service, which of course he proceeded to do. He threatened us with obstruction charges if we didn't allow him to come into our worship service. Of course, having a public health inspector come in and walk up and down the aisles looking to see if if everybody seating together is family, or checking to see if everyone in the building is wearing a mask, or checking to see if there's 2 meters of distance between families, yeah, that's not going to be disruptive at all. No. And so we informed the health inspector that until our people left the building, he was not welcome to join us. He threatened with obstruction. He came back the following week, and this time he brought police with him.
Yeah, so we were going to come in and make some observations.
Yeah, so we're having a private religious service right now, and so we're not allowing folks in, just under the section 176 of the criminal code. I don't know if you're aware of that. So let me read that to you here. And
That's fine. I'm here to do a lawful investigation.
Yep.
Okay. And under section 54, that you would be in contravention. So this is obstruction. So I'm here for a lawful investigation.
Can't.
No, this is a public health order.
Right.
And I'm here for a lawful investigation.
Right.
Right. So do you follow?
Yeah, I follow. But
so
again,
can I see your driver's license, please, sir?
yes, you can.
So you realize, sir, that if you obstruct me, then you could be subject to a charge under the public health order?
But do you know that you can be
So
like we're trying to help you out here?
right, yeah, I'm just upholding section 176.
You're not a peace officer, are you, sir?
No, I'm not.
No, I didn't think so.
But if we're all about to uphold laws, this is a law you should be kind of mindful of. The church they would meet with you right after the service, but right now the service is going
Right,
on.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're
but I'm
fine
here-
to meet after the service.
So I'm,
yeah.
I'm here.
It's against the law to disrupt the service,
So
even for officers.
That's not true. So,
Um,
but peaceful assembly is protected under the charter. So everyone who by threats of force unlawfully obstructs or prevents or endeavors to obstruct or prevent a clergyman or minister from celebrating divine service or performing any other function in connection with his calling, or B, knowing that a clergyman or minister is about to perform, is on his way to perform, or is returning from the performance of any of the duties or functions mentioned in paragraph A, assaults or offers any violence to him, or arrests him on civil process, or under the pretense of executing a civil process, is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. 2, everyone who willfully disturbs or interrupts an assemblage of persons meant for religious worship for a moral, social, or benevolent purpose is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction. And 3, everyone who at or near a meeting referred to in subsection 2 willfully does anything that disrupts the order or solemnity of the meeting is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction. So, but again, your presence again would still be disrupting the solemnity of the service. Like whether you're not doing anything
Okay.
other than observing, but
So-
your presence there would still be disrupting the service.
So when I went, so when I attended at 10:10, I was told the same thing. I mean, this
Yeah. Yeah.
is clear. This is clearly obstruction, sir.
but it is a private service. Like
Yeah,
it is
it's
a private service. Like you're not part of this church. You're not
so
invited.
you have to be invited to go to your church. Is invitation
No,
only
if you're,
church?
if you're here to worship and that's your sole
Yeah.
purpose, if you're not here to worship, then you're not welcome. That's that's our only.
And so, what's your name, sir?
Tony,
So, are you wouldn't let me in as well?
I'm not a part of this church.
He's
Actually,
not an elder
I'm
of the
from
church.
Buffalo Narrows, so
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just recording.
He's just visiting.
So, are you gonna let us in?
Not currently. You guys are welcome to come in after the service is over. We'd be happy to have you guys in. We're not saying you can't come in. Just right now we're having a service. And,
Okay, I did observe both of you individuals without masks,
right.
right, in a public place, right, and that's against the order. Kind of interesting you put it on when he came in here, came out.
Yeah. and
So I do have your driver's license, so
Yeah.
that's good. Can I have your driver's license, sir?
Sure.
yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, again, we just want to not be disturbed during the service. That's all we're asking right now. So.
Well, you are obstructing, right? You're aware of the serious nature of that, right?
Well, the
Do you realize how serious that is, sir?
so we're again, like I said, we're just holding a peaceful service. That's all.
Yeah, but
This is charter territory we're talking here, right?
no, we're talking obstruction.
But is it a federal law that we're obstructing, or a provincial law?
Under the Public Health Act, you're You're
Yeah, and
obstructing.
but the
And
public health, is that
and so you're
federal or provincial?
What does it matter?
Well,
You-
'cause
you've
my
broken the law, sir.
Oh, you don't know if
You
it's
broke the
provincial
law,
or
sir.
you don't know if it's provincial or
My
federal?
understanding is as a federal.
Obviously, it's provincial, sir.
Yeah, my understanding is that federal criminal code would supersede provincial statute.
Yeah, that's made up stuff.
And
Okay,
so,
well, come back.
so again, section 176 of the criminal code would outline that you're not supposed to disturb a religious service, and that's what we're holding.
You're obstructing a lawful investigation, period.
Anything anymore.
Is there a particular reason why you don't wear a mask in public?
Yeah, it goes against my conscience. To go against conscience is sin.
Okay.
The government doesn't have the authority, according to our constitution, to order me to wear a mask. It goes against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which guarantees bodily autonomy.
So is there a particular reason why you exceed the requirement of maximum 30 people plus clergy?
Yeah, we're under the authority of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
He's commanded us as our Lord to gather. And the government has overstepped their authority by telling us that we can only have 30 people.
Service is over.
Okay. So today, I mean, we counted over 100 people, right, at the church. And, just to remind you that anything you say can will be used against you. But, I mean, oh my God. I thought maybe you'd have 60 people, but well over 100. It was a bit shocked, actually. You've taken this ticket to the church, right? Whereas really you've all made this decision not to allow us to do our investigation. And then, from the observations we have today with the number of people, we will be consulting with our council, and there'll be further action that happens. So, in a perfect world, right, we're looking for compliance. We're not looking for court dates.
Yeah, who needs those pesky court dates anyways?
Right? So
We had 3 events. Public health was well aware of the 3 events that we were holding this weekend. We held a Good Friday service. That's a pretty important service for Christians during the year. We actually believe that Jesus' death on the cross is a pretty big deal. God used Pastor Coates in that jail cell, in the jail there in Edmonton, the remand center. God used him to share the gospel with people there. If that's where God places me, I will happily go. That's not my desire, but Christ is worthy.